May God's peace and blessings be upon us all. The time has come for the people of God to speak to the people of God. God's holy word is a biblical view of the events and the times of today. And guys, I have to be honest with you, it took me a while to really make this video. It took me a while because I was contemplating the amount of blowback that I would be receiving because this video hits close to home because I live in Atlanta, Georgia. I am from Georgia, born and raised in Georgia. I am a Georgia boy, which is why it pains me to see some of the things that are going on in the city that I currently live in, which is why I had to make this video. This one is called Dens of Sin, Atlanta, Georgia. It was necessary because it is up to the people of God to make a change in the world that we currently live in. It is up to us. We have to first start at home, which is why I'm starting in my home state. Because you see, we all have a ministry. And for all of us as believers, our first ministry starts at home. And I pray daily for the city that I live in. I pray daily for Atlanta. I pray daily for the preachers who are speaking to the people of God. Georgia has many, many good preachers. But you see, some of our leaders in the churches, we have to do better. Because regardless of how many good preachers we have in Georgia, they will very seldomly get highlighted. But you see, those bad preachers, those preachers that are misleading the flock, those people that are misguiding believers, those are the preachers that will get all of the headlines. Preachers, we have to do better. We have to be who we say we are because we will be judged. You see, there is a church in Atlanta that is supposedly one of the biggest land owning churches in Atlanta. This church has a rocky, to say the least, turbulent history. And we'll leave it there because the church has birth in the name of the church in there in Atlanta. Birth. What kind of birth? Birth is the church here in Atlanta. And the birth that it has is the wrong birth because this church is badly in need of a rebirth. We have another church that is about 5 minutes away from where I live at in Decatur, Georgia. And this church has the word dream in the name of the church. So we have a birth church that needs a rebirth. And we have a dream church here that is really more like a Christian nightmare. And to those of us who say we are believers, I ask you, I ask the members of this church, and I cannot hold back. New Birth and Dream Center, I must ask the people who go to this church. I have to ask you. And you don't have to answer me. You don't have to fight back and strike against me because all I am doing is simply speaking the word of God based on the actions that go on in this church, based on the activities that go on in these churches. And so I ask the members of these churches, how do you react when you hear all of these falsehoods at your church? How do you react when you hear all of this blasphemy at your church? And if you have been in the building for more than one church service, I ask you, how and why do you still attend this church? Possibly the reason why you still attend this church is because just like the leader who is speaking no gospel, just like the leader who are speaking no words, both of these leaders, perhaps the members that sit up under these people, you have no word, no spirit, and no love of God in you. How do you sit there and listen to blasphemy and lies and show up to that church 3 to 4 times a week? Please tell me how you do it. Please tell me what your conversations are with God when you go home. Or have you just done as Lot did in the Bible? Being surrounded by so much sin in your own church from your own leaders, have we just accepted that this ain't no church? And your leaders, they ain't no preachers. From forcing your employees to tithe in order to work there. That's what one of your pastors said. The same pastor said he's selling everything except sex. The same pastor that wants to swag and surf. The same pastors that want to grow weed on the property. The same pastors who are allegedly having children by minors. The same pastors who are adulterous and have 2 to 3 wives and however many women that they feel like. The same pastors who have the nerve to speak a blasphemous word about Jesus being out of order. You see, these people, regardless to how upset you get with me, regardless to how mad you find yourself with Minister Jones, he ain't lying. And my question is, the people who go to these churches, they will be so upset and angry with me for telling them the truth, but they will not be angry at these leaders for telling them lies. You see, that goes to an old saying, because I'm from the country part of Georgia. You see, there's an old saying that says you would tell a lie on credit as opposed to telling the truth for cash. So you'll be upset with me, the messenger, for telling you that this ain't no church. But you sit in there every Sunday and you know in your heart and your soul, this ain't no church. You'll be upset with me for telling you that ain't no preacher. But you'll sit there and watch all of the things that this preacher does, fake preacher, and try to find a way to justify it. Because you will make Minister Jones your problem, as opposed to the problem that is staring you right in the face. And so you see what it really comes down to before you start rebutting and attacking me, which is perfectly fine. The truth is the truth, even if it come out the mouth of a donkey. And you'll get that probably about an hour or two after you see this video. You see, these are not preachers, and these ain't churches. These are dens of sin. And so I say to us, as always, another verse for another day on earth. Because you see, what I'm going to give you is the truth. What I'm going to give you is the unadulterated word of God. I'm not going to stand on the stage and make stuff up as I go so that you can get paid, get pleased, have pleasure, and promote propaganda in the church. There ain't going to be no swagging and surfing and partying in here. I'm going to give you the word. Another verse for another day on this earth. Matthew chapter 21. Matthew chapter 21. Matthew chapter 21. And we will start at verse 12. Matthew chapter 21 at verse 12. And Jesus went into the temple of God and cast out all them that sold and bought in the temple, and overthrew the tables of the money changers, and the seats of them that sold doves, and said unto them, It is written, My house shall be called the house of prayer, but ye have made it a den of thieves. To the members of New Birth, to the members of the Dream Center, the new birth that needs a rebirth, the Dream Center that is truly a nightmare. Do you consider your church's house of prayer? Are they houses of prayer, or are they dens of sin? I will let you be the judge of that. As always, please like, share, and subscribe. All super chats, all sponsorships, all donations will go to spreading the gospel. For I say to you again, like, share, and subscribe. But most of all, share. For if you share the no, the show will grow. If you share the no, the show will grow. If you share the no, the word will go. Let us make America righteous. Let us make the world righteous. God's holy word. May God bless you and keep you.